Get ready for the biggest news in college football. We start with the Big Ten ranking showdown. Badgers Wire has dropped the official ranking for all 18 Big Ten football programs by 2026 academic progress rate. We're diving deep into the APR scores, seeing how teams like Ohio State and Michigan stacked up, and uncovering the exact metrics that determine who gets a shot at postseason play. This is crucial information for every fan tracking the academic side of the game.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the volatile landscape of the SEC heading into the new year. CBS Sports breaks down the post-spring overreactions fueling the race for the 2026 championship. We examine why motivation is high for Alabama under Kalen DeBoer, the significant roster transition facing Arkansas with Ryan Silverfield's move, and the deep quarterback uncertainty surrounding the Florida Gators under John Sumrall. Find out what's real and what's just off-season noise. Now, prepare for a major upset opportunity. Sports Illustrated reveals that Ole Miss Rebels are setting themselves up for a huge season, but their biggest chance for a national championship run comes after their game against the Texas Longhorns. We break down the late-season matchup dynamics, the stamina battle, and how this single game could redefine both teams' postseason hopes. Don't miss this analysis of the Rebels' biggest upset opportunity. Finally, we turn our attention to UCLA and the immense pressure facing their players. Sports Illustrated spotlights 5 specific UCLA football players who are facing the most intense scrutiny as the program prepares to compete in the Big Ten. From quarterback Nico Iamaleava's performance to the defensive pressure on Sahir West and Barksdale, we analyze the expectations and the challenges ahead for the Bruins. Stay with us to see how these players will handle the spotlight this season. The Big Ten Conference continues to assert its dominance in college football academics, with recent rankings based on the 2026 Academic Progress Rate, APR, highlighting the conference's high standards. The APR is a crucial metric for accountability, measuring the academic progress of student-athletes through eligibility and retention across academic terms. Crucially, programs must maintain an average APR of 930 to qualify for postseason play, with the highest scores often determining tiebreakers in schedule finalization scenarios. The latest 4-year composite ranking, extending through the 2024-25 school year, provides a detailed snapshot of the 18 Big Ten programs. Ohio State has once again achieved a perfect APR score of 1,000, marking the 3rd consecutive year for the Buckeyes to secure this top position. In the competitive landscape, several shifts were noted. Oregon and Penn State swapped positions compared to the previous year, with the Ducks seeing a 12-point increase in their APR. The Terrapins maintained their ranking, despite a slight dip in their score. Purdue experienced the second-largest drop in rankings this period, falling 4 points, while the Fighting Illini managed to improve their score by 2 points, allowing them to overtake Purdue. The rankings show intense competition among the middle-of-the-road teams, with scores separated by just a few points. Indiana and Rutgers shared the same APR score, with Rutgers registering an increase. Luke Fickell's Badgers saw a 4-point decrease in their APR, resulting in a drop in their ranking. Meanwhile, Kirk Ferentz's Hawkeyes secured a top 5 ranking following a 10-point increase in their APR. The Golden Gophers successfully leapfrogged Northwestern. Overall, the Big Ten continues to demonstrate its standing as a benchmark for academic performance in college football. The college football landscape is currently defined by post-spring overreactions, where preseason hype often outpaces tangible evidence. Across the SEC, volatility is high as 6 new coaches push timelines through the transfer portal, returning quarterbacks carry immense expectations, and established powers seek to erase previous season's shortcomings. Separating genuine progress from off-season noise before the games begin is proving difficult amidst a competitive environment. Alabama is fueled by motivation, with Kalen DeBoer navigating off-season banter, while Nick Saban remains a key voice supporting the coaching decision. Meanwhile, the transition for Arkansas is a significant undertaking. Ryan Silverfield's arrival signals a need for patience as the program stabilizes talent acquisition amid the complex NIL and transfer portal landscape. At Florida, despite John Sumrall bringing defensive credibility and a clear culture vision, quarterback play remains the single biggest swing factor. The offense faces uncertainty with an unknown offensive coordinator and inexperienced options behind center, suggesting the team's year-one ceiling may be constrained until quarterback efficiency stabilizes. In the SEC, Mike Bobo faces a wide receiver challenge, needing more outside threats as the offense shifts toward a tight and heavy attack. Conversely, the Bulldogs are bolstered by a deep receiving core, featuring Lawson Lucky and Elias Williams, creating a formidable presence at the position. Kentucky's roster is not starting from scratch, having already attracted portal talent, which gives new offensive coordinator Will Stein a significant advantage. Stein's modern schematic approach, focusing on spacing and efficiency, is poised to deliver early returns, particularly when paired with skilled perimeter players. LSU is positioned as a contender, though the path to the CFP remains uncertain despite signing a top-ranked portal class. Pressure is mounting for the program to achieve significant success quickly. In Starkville, Jeff Lebby faces scrutiny. 7 wins in 2 seasons, including a 115 mark in SEC play, raise questions about sustainability amid a complete roster reset involving over 50 newcomers. For the Gamecocks, there is optimism regarding their rushing attack, with Matthew Fuller returning as a lead option and Christian Clark bringing crucial downhill physicality. However, Josh Heupel's offense faces a cautious outlook as he decides between George McIntyre and Faison Brandon at quarterback. Texas enters the season as preseason number 1, boasting a Heisman frontrunner and a top defensive player returning at edge rusher. Despite this talent, the team needs multiple wins against elite competition to solidify its claim to the top spot. Defensive personnel changes are also significant for Texas A&M, with concerns over linebacker depth following veteran injuries. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt's quarterback situation is heating up, with freshman Jard Curtis reportedly signaling strong intentions to compete for the starting role against Blaise Berlovitz. The Ole Miss Rebels are gearing up for a challenging but potentially championship-caliber season, with head coach Pete Golding anticipating stiff competition. While Ole Miss benefits from hosting 7 regular season games in Oxford, Mississippi, and minimizing extensive road travel, the team's most significant upset opportunity is set to emerge later in the schedule. The focal point of this opportunity is the matchup against the Texas Longhorns on October 24th at the Longhorns' home turf. This late-season contest carries significant weight, as upsetting Texas would break the Longhorns' 40-game home win streak and could elevate Ole Miss into contention for the conference title. Texas enters the season desperate for a turnaround following a disappointing 2025 campaign, fueled by an upgraded roster stemming from the transfer portal and offensive volatility. They will heavily test the Rebels' defensive depth as quarterback Arch Manning and wide receiver Cam Coleman look to exploit weaknesses. As the season progresses into October, both teams are expected to have established their offensive rhythms, leading to what is predicted to be a high-intensity shootout. The critical variable will be stamina. Ole Miss will need to manage its strength to prepare for later matchups against Georgia and Oklahoma. Conversely, Texas will face early hurdles, including games against Ohio State, the Red River rivalry, and Florida before facing the Rebels. Despite the challenges, the analysis suggests that both Ole Miss and Texas will be focused on conserving depth and maintaining offensive consistency, positioning the Rebels for a strong chance to secure their biggest win of the season against the Longhorns, potentially impacting both teams' postseason aspirations. The 2026-27 college football season marks a critical juncture for the UCLA Bruins, as the program strives to establish a new era and compete in the Big Ten Conference following 2 years as a basement dweller. To achieve this ambitious goal, Key players and coaches are facing intense scrutiny this offseason. Sports Illustrated has identified 5 players who are under the most pressure for UCLA moving forward. The spotlight is heavily focused on starting quarterback Nico Iamaleava. He enters this phase playing under a third coaching staff in as many years. Following a performance at Tennessee, his initial year at UCLA did not meet expectations, with blame largely attributed to the previous coaching staff and surrounding talent. With UCLA hiring an offensively focused staff, resources are reportedly in place to develop the redshirt junior, placing the onus squarely on Iamaleava to demonstrate his capabilities and prove he is the right fit. Another major focus is on Knight, a former star on Bob Chesney's James Madison offense, who amassed 1,373 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns last season. Knight is anticipated to assume a significant role in the UCLA offense. This expectation is amplified by the increased level of competition, particularly as he transitions to the Big Ten. While his performance against Oregon in the college football playoff, including a run for over 100 yards, has generated high expectations, adjusting to the new environment remains a significant challenge. Defensively, UCLA is notably lacking a pass rush presence. Sahir West is seen as the prime candidate to address this gap. West demonstrated significant defensive impact at JMU, leading the team in sacks and contributing to tackles and forced fumbles during his freshman season. The question for West now is whether he can replicate that production at UCLA with a different defensive line group. Barksdale, another JMU transfer, is tasked with making an immediate impact on the struggling defensive unit. His skill set, particularly in generating turnovers, evidenced by 4 interceptions and 12 passes defended over the last 2 seasons, is expected to be a game changer. However, this high expectation creates pressure, as any setback could be perceived as a major decline in performance. Finally, Jackson stands out as one of the few returning Bruins expected to elevate his game after a successful 2025 season. Having started over half of his games and accumulating 44 tackles, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble, the coaching staff has highly praised his efforts. Jackson must now translate his prior success into sustained, high-level performance as he heads into his senior year.